If I were God, how many times have you said that? If I were God, this is the way I would shape the world. If I had the control, if I had the knowledge, if I had the power of God. Remember Adam and Eve? They were told that if you eat of this tree, you will have the knowledge that God has. You will have the power. You will be like gods. And somehow within our lives, that deep desire still comes back to each and every one of us. If we could only shape this planet and the people any way we would like. And then the question is, who would you get rid of? Who would you get rid of? Look around. Anybody here? Isaiah in the first reading had a dream. He wanted to shape the world and imagine a society and arrange it differently as he listened to the Word of God within his heart. And what he needed to do, first of all, was to open up the temple. Open up the temple where only the chosen, where only the clean, where only the acceptable were permitted to enter. God calls, through Isaiah the prophet, for a life and a practice that's radically different from the order of exclusion that we are so used to. And if we listen carefully to Isaiah, he says, I will bring to my holy mountain, not just my chosen people, not just the clean people, not just the acceptable people. I will bring all of my people. And my house shall be called a house of prayer. For, once again, all people. In fact, I will gather others to them beside those already gathered. And so today, in the gospel, Jesus travels to Tyre and Sidon, the land of the unclean, the land of the pagans, the land of those who were not chosen. And as you heard in the gospel, the Canaanite woman, the unclean woman, the unchosen one, the unholy one, approaches him for healing. And everybody around him, all of his relatives, all of his friends, all of his neighbors, they wanted him to keep God in their own image and likeness. After all, he was a good Jewish boy. He had been chosen. He had grown up among them. He was separate. He was unique. He was blessed. And he was so much different than all those others, all those who were outcasts, all those who were pagans, all those who were dogs. And so when the woman asks him for healing, help me, Lord, the first thing you notice, he doesn't make an answer to the woman. And the people are watching him and they're saying, way to go, Jesus. You're following in the tradition that you were raised in. Good job. The woman comes back again. Says, oh, Lord, please have pity on me. I need your help. My daughter has a demon. She's possessed. She needs my help, your help. And he looks at her and he says, I've been sent for the chosen, to the house of Israel alone. And once again a cry comes up, that a boy, good boy. You're just right in line with the way you were raised. But then something happens to Jesus. Because he begins to listen to his truest self. He begins to listen to his heart. And when he listens to his heart, not only his humanity, but his divinity come together. And he's able to transcend the limits and the boundaries that he was raised in, the boundaries of his prejudice. And as we prayed in the opening reading, those walls of prejudice are able to collapse. And he reaches out to the pagans. He reaches out to the dogs, the underdog, the sinner, and the outcast. St. Paul reminded us in the second reading that God's mercy is given to all people. So who are the people of Tyre and Sidon today? Maybe your neighbor, someone in prison, an immigrant, either documented or undocumented, the poor, the homeless, maybe a drug addict. But I'm sure we could make a list of all those people that we consider unclean, unacceptable, and not chosen by God, or at least by us. So this week we need to go to Tyre in Sidon. And what we're going to find is God looks a lot like our neighbors and our friends, and even those whom we haven't chosen. God bless you.